behind all the games.
Inside for the monster jam.
Behind the TV highlights. And all the traditions is a hidden side of college sports.
Principal support for this program is provided by the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation. Additional support is provided by Lumina Foundation for Education and the Annenberg Foundation.
Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. More than 100,000 fans on hand as the University of Tennessee Volunteers faced rival Florida in a nationally televised game.
And here come the Volunteers.
College sports is bigger than ever.
It's so seductive. It's so much a part of who we are. In a way, it's a kind of identity that's very American. If you're one little town and somebody else is the other little town, how did you compete with each other? Not who's got the better school, but who has the better football team. It starts there.
Clausen under center. Hands off. Breaks it to the 25, to the 20. Travis Stevens rolled down at the 10-yard line.
This game would go down to the wire. With 13 seconds left on the clock, Tennessee trailed by 2. Vern Lundquist made the call for CBS.
James Wilhoit to win it for the Volunteers. Waiting for the snap. Henderson to hold. There it is. Kick on the way. The kick is long and high and spinning. Good! Wilhoit! Wilhoit hits from 50 yards out and Tennessee leads.
Final score, Tennessee 30, Florida 28.
Large way.
But for the Volunteers, there was another set of numbers to celebrate. The $2 million in revenue generated by every home game.
Sports at the collegiate level is a multi-billion-dollar business. Coaches are making money. Schools are making money. The conferences are making money. Everybody makes money.
The Warriors have arrived. And will
Championship bowl games are the jackpot of college sports, earning some teams as much as $14.5 million in a single night.
If you're going to be a top football school, those kids who are brought in there are not brought in there because they have Phi Beta Kappa potential. They're brought in there because they have All-America, Heisman Trophy potential. And that becomes the focus of their lives on that campus. It's about sports.
Today, elite college basketball teams spend weeks on the road, filling the airwaves with more than 5,000 games a year.
open down the lane.
Some players seen more often on TV than in their classes.
When you devote so much time to any activity, there's no way in the world that you can be a devoted student. You simply haven't got the time.
Cross back to throw. Hit in the backfield and stop.
For many athletes, college is not about academics.
Main reason why I went to college, to play college football. All my efforts and time pretty much went to that. If it was watch film for a tough game like Florida or Alabama, I would probably watch that film instead of read that book.
Fred White was a standout defensive back at Tennessee.
I kind of figured out the system of classes, which ones were harder, which ones were a little bit easier. To me, a class, to be able to say a class was easy or hard, I would go to the first class and I'd go to that class up until the first test. And if that first test, I could pass it without studying, that was going to be an easy class for me.
What comes easy for them? What comes natural? They've excelled in football. That's what's been their meal ticket. That's what's got them the notoriety and the national acclaim. The academic end is not always the easy part.
Academic counselors like Tennessee's Dan Carlson see many athletes put sports ahead of studies.
There's a culture in major college sports. There's something wrong that sometimes they perceive as a weakness to be a good student. And truly, I mean, it is very much a culture, and that lots of times their peers try and bring them down because they don't want someone to be doing better than they are in the classroom, and that there's something socially unacceptable about being a good student athlete.
But is it fair to only blame athletes?
The coaches tell the athlete, you're doing okay, you're making progress, you're still moving towards your degree. Then, of course, when the eligibility is over, they find out that he's an academic first semester junior. He doesn't have any money to continue his education. He doesn't have a professional contract, and they want him off campus, out of sight and out of mind, because we have another generation of prospects coming in here, and we don't want any losers around.
And institutions cut corners. Institutions cheat.
There is a lack of integrity in many, many places. And when it's a question of, are we going to win or are we going to have integrity, then we're going to win.
That's daydreaming. The media skews the enterprise by looking at the most highly visible entertainment part of intercollegiate athletics and fails to see how pervasive it is and how much it adds to the experience of young men and women.
Miles Brand heads the NCAA, the governing body that oversees some 350,000 college athletes in dozens of sports.
And what we want to do is make sure that the vast majority of them have an educational experience and take full advantage of the opportunities of the college and the university, one that is productive in terms of their learning. And by and large, that works.
So each team should be playing a
Who are the winners and losers in college sports? And what happens to the players when the cheering stops?
Okay. Things to remember.
Friday night in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Game time for the Lady Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky University. On the field for Western Kentucky was senior Allison Nellis. She came here on an athletic scholarship.
As an 18-year-old coming to Western, definitely my priority was soccer. I had played soccer my whole life, and that's pretty much all I knew. And academics was always second to soccer.
Allison's priorities quickly landed her in trouble. Her grades dropped. Jason Nidell was Allison's coach.
Allison did have a semester that was pretty poor. I know she got kicked in the butt from me. I know she got kicked in the butt from her family, too.
Allison was new to college, unaccustomed to the freedom.
It was hard. We have plenty of time to do whatever we want. We're not on a time limit or anything, and we have more time to play around, which we usually end up sleeping or doing something that we probably shouldn't be.
Ready, go.
Soccer was part of the solution.
15, 16, 17.
We're always on a time limit.
19, 20.
We always have practice, we have school, always on a time limit.
You made it.
In soccer, you have to really be dedicated, and that helps you do well in school.
They have to manage their time better, and they have to be more disciplined. The demands that we place on their time are great.
Allison and her teammates devote about 16 hours a week to soccer.
It's a lot more than just teaching the game of soccer. Hopefully they take away discipline and teamwork and leadership and a lot of issues about self-pride and self-worth, and hopefully we're able to show that to them and help them grow.
Well done.
It worked for Allison.
I used to be a student that was studying maybe an hour, lucky, every day. Now it can go from probably about 4 to 8 hours. My academic priorities have changed, and that's one of the most important things to me now.
1, 2, 3, team, you know.
Athletics helps the educational experience. It helps in competitiveness, which is part of the American way. It helps in creativity, persistence, pursuit of excellence, doing your homework, practicing.
In for the Lady Toppers, number 14, Allison Nellis.
Allison joined Western Soccer in the program's first year. Since then, it's gotten better.
Now the program's established, we're able to recruit more talented soccer players. We always talk to our team about this. We say our job is to recruit players better than you. Your job is to make sure we can't. And that first class has done an incredible job of making sure we can't. They've laid the foundation for what's going to happen over the next 15 or 20 years for this program.
It's definitely going to be a program in the future that's going to be highly competitive with top 20, top 10 teams. Big time program.
Final score, Western Kentucky 3, Louisiana Lafayette 1.
Allison went on to graduate. Her team finished with a winning record.
You got to have a successful program, and we're going to compete, and we're going to win. Our emergence as a more competitive university is becoming known.
Western Kentucky's president, Gary Ransdale, wants to take all the university's teams to a higher level.
We're investing more, and we're bringing in more. That athletic budget has gone from, I'm going to say, $6 million to close to $12 million. We just put $32 million into our basketball arena. We put a lot of money into weight rooms and training facilities, locker rooms.
As you see right here, this is the main part of the locker room. Yeah, everybody's lockers and chairs. This is where we come and get ready for practice every day. We got some stereo things up in here, stadium seating for the film sessions. Whirlpools, TVs. When we eat before games, we'll have our food spread out here and go into the lounge. Big screen TV, some leather couches. We got the pool table, PlayStation 2. Just a place to come in, chill out, get ready to go to business.
Is this out of whack?
Sure it is. But on the other hand, it was a recruiting advantage. You got to have a successful program. They got to win in the postseason. And we're going to find ways to do it.
What does a high-profile team do for a university?
Energy, marquee value, institutional pride, positive coverage. You know, whether students ever go to a game or not, they like people back in their hometown talking about it.
I think it's probable that at least by winning games and having a good athletic program, you sort of raise your awareness. And somehow that drags prestige from behind.
I want to be nationally competitive, whether it's academically, student life, athletically. If we're going to do it, let's do it well.
Atop the world of college sports are big-time teams like the University of Arizona Wildcats. Its 2004 lineup was built around a new star recruit, Andre Iguodala.
Iggy jab it over the head into the paint. To the bucket, lay it in. Pull-up jumper from 15. Good. Iguodala inside for the monster jam.
Monster is right. Wow.
I've been playing basketball since I was 5 years old. You know, let's be truthful. I want to play in the NBA someday.
Iguodala's got a free run. That's the aggressive Andre Iguodala. Man.
There's a lot of people say I can make it, you know, and with hard work, I know I can.
Andre worked out twice a day, hitting the weight room at 7 a.m.
It lasts about an hour and a half. It's a lot of work. Let it sink and accelerate it off the chest. You got to keep your strength up. Good. And there's big guys out there, 6'10", 280-pound guys hitting you. Everything we're doing here translates over to the basketball court.